in the blessed name of Allah, who is most merciful and very gracious. Welcome, friends. It's late. You know, the world outside has finally gone quiet. So, wherever you are right now, whatever is on your mind, let's just take a slow, deep breath. Just let your shoulders drop. Let all that overthinking fade away into the night. Because today in this explainer, we're going to explore a true late-night mystery, and it all starts with a ringing phone.
I want you to imagine a man sitting at his desk on a totally normal, quiet afternoon. His name is Alex Goldman, and he makes a show called Reply All. It's just an ordinary day, right up until his phone rings. The caller ID flashes a 1-800 number, and, well, out of pure curiosity, Alex decides to just go ahead and answer it.
But when Alex picks up, he doesn't hear a human being. Instead, he hears this cold, robotic voice saying, "Your Apple iCloud is compromised. Do not use your computer. Call this number immediately." Now, a message like that, it induces sudden, gripping fear. People panic. They immediately assume their private data is being stolen, and they feel totally forced to follow the robot's instructions just to be safe.
This fear really highlights the sharp difference between illusion and reality. The illusion here is that a massive tech company is actually calling to save you. But the reality? It's a trick. It's completely fake. Companies like Apple are literally never going to call you out of nowhere to tell you you've been hacked. Now, Alex actually knows this, but instead of just hanging up like most of us would, he decides to walk directly into the maze. He calls the number back. So a man answers, and he's calling himself Alex Martin. He immediately tries a new trick, claiming that Alex's IP address is compromised. Now, to a normal person, an IP address sounds like this complicated computer house number, right? But to the scammer, it's literally just a line in a script. And when Alex asks him for a real ID, the scammer completely refuses, because as we know, truth loves the light, but lies, they always hide in the shadows.
Because Alex just won't fall for the trick. The scammer escalates things to a genuinely terrifying threat. He claims to be part of the infamous hacker group Anonymous, and he gives this very dark warning. He says, "We will demolish all your social identities and leak them on adult porn sites."
So again, we have to compare the illusion to the reality. The illusion is this super powerful hacker group with almost magic-like power, causing victims to just freeze in pure terror and pay absolutely anything to make it stop. But the reality? It's an empty threat from a completely normal person sitting in some crowded room far, far away. And knowing this, Alex just calmly tells the scammer that he's actually recording the entire call for YouTube. And just like that, the scammer drops his mask. He suddenly becomes friendly and openly admits that they are selling fake antivirus software, and they're stealing over $2,400 every single day. When Alex asks if he feels bad about it, the scammer coldly replies, "No, you guys have a lot of money." He even admits that they specifically target older, more traditional names like Richard, for example, just to drain their life savings. It's wild.
It's a really dark reflection of the human heart, isn't it? Taking wealth that simply does not belong to you, tricking grandmothers and grandfathers out of their hard-earned savings, it just brings this darkness to the soul. True wealth comes from honest work. The absolute destruction caused by tricking innocent people, it doesn't just ruin the victim, it ultimately ruins the thief too.
But Alex, he wants to see the actual technical trick, so he calls back. This time, a new scammer named Charlie asks to remotely connect to Alex's computer, which, by the way, is a fake, empty computer Alex set up. As a quick side note, you should literally never let a stranger connect to your real computer. But anyway, once inside, Charlie opens up the terminal and types the word netstat. Suddenly, all this text flies down the screen like some hacker attack in a movie. But the reality? Netstat is a completely harmless tool. It just shows normal internet connections. It's basically like looking at a list of mail trucks leaving a post office. Nothing scary at all. Then, Charlie actually types out a fake warning right onto the screen. It says, "Zeus Trojan detected." Yeah, he actually misspells the famous Zeus Trojan virus. He completely forgot the letter J. So Alex very calmly points out this spelling mistake to him. And Charlie, he just quickly hangs up the phone in pure embarrassment. But the mystery just deepens from here. Alex decides to call back again, this time using the totally fake name Rusty Savage. He gets transferred to this so-called level 9 technician, who immediately starts demanding money. Alex finally asks him,
How stupid do you really think Americans are? And the scammer, he just explodes with furious anger. He actually tries to use history as an excuse, yelling, "Your country dropped the atom bomb on Japan in 1945, so we can do this to you."
It's crazy, but some people actually think past historical wrongs justify their bad behavior today. But look, you cannot clean a dirty shirt with muddy water. Blaming a person today for what a government did decades before they were even born, that is deeply, deeply flawed logic. At the end of the day, two wrongs never make a right.
After this, the original scammer, the guy calling himself Alex Martin, actually calls back just to insult Alex, but then the conversation takes this incredibly revealing shift. They randomly start bonding over video games like Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike. It turns out the big, scary thief on the phone is actually just a 22-year-old kid. It really goes to show how completely normal people can end up doing terrible things when they're totally blinded by greed.
So, Alex and his team decide to dig deeper. They actually trace the fake website back to a very real company located in New Delhi, India, called Acustings Infotech. They map out this whole global network that's moving the stolen money around. And through former employees, they uncover something really sad. The workers are mostly poor rural students who are being abused by bosses that flat out refuse to pay them. And finally, they identify the main boss. His name is Kamal Verma.
Now this is where Alex sets a brilliant trap. He somehow finds a photo of the boss, Kamal, having a drink at a local bar called Chug It. So Alex sets that exact photo as his computer's desktop background. When the scammers remotely connect to his computer again and minimize the open windows, bam! They're staring right at a picture of their own boss. You can literally hear the scammer gasp in shock. And in that moment of pure panic, Alex realizes something huge. The so-called low-level scammer Alex Martin is actually the boss himself, Kamal Verma, just hiding behind a fake name.
Caught totally off guard in this trap, Kamal suddenly acts super polite. He lies, saying he quit the scam to go live on a farm, and he even invites Alex to come visit India. But of course, when Alex's team actually arrives in New Delhi, Kamal disappears. Because liars always run when the truth gets a little too close, right? So the team is just wandering the sweltering streets, totally lost. They check an address, 1 Club Road, it's just a meditation center. They check 26 Club Road, completely empty. And that Chug It bar from the photo, it's been entirely renamed to Headphones.
Then, out of nowhere, Kamal reaches out and invites them to dinner at a place called Cyber Hub. But it turns out, Kamal is merely the right-hand man in all this. Sitting right next to him is this large, muscular man named Deepak Verma. He is the true, hidden boss of the whole operation. Kamal just sits there quietly while Deepak looks Alex directly in the eye and completely lies to his face, claiming the entire call center has been permanently closed.
But the real truth comes out during an incredibly tense meeting the very next day. Alex finally brings out his recording microphone, and Deepak immediately panics. He starts sweating heavily and just aggressively threatens the team. Showing his true, awful colors, Deepak actually holds up a heavily bruised hand and brags that he got the bruise from violently slapping one of his own employees. It really is just a dark world of fear and violence.
So with only 1 day left in India, they get some help. An undercover local reporter named Snigdha Poonam calls the company pretending she needs a job. And guess what? They text her the real address. Incredibly, it is 1 Club Road. It was located right above the very bar they had visited on their first day. These scammers were literally hiding right under their noses the entire time.
Snigdha actually goes inside, and she discovers about 40 people actively making these scam calls, all being guarded by a muscular man. You see, in the daytime, they pretend to be a totally normal business. But at nighttime, when America starts waking up, that heavy metal gate gets pulled down. They literally lock themselves in the dark to commit these crimes. And here's a really fascinating detail. Over that locked metal door hung a toran. Now, if you don't know, a toran is this beautiful, sacred string of pure green mango leaves. In Indian culture, hanging these leaves is meant to invite good fortune and block any evil spirits from entering the space.
Now, some people might see a beautiful cultural symbol like that toran and just assume the people inside must be good. But true purity, that doesn't come from a leaf hung on a door. It comes from honest hands.
You absolutely cannot wash away the pain of stealing a grandfather's life savings with a simple decoration. A decoration can never hide the dark truth of what's going on inside.
So, at the very climax of this whole journey, Alex records a video of himself standing right at that locked door and texts it directly to Kamal. Kamal reacts furiously. He completely drops the polite act and starts sending threats to Alex. But Alex? He just leaves. The maze is finally solved. Of course, years later, even more lies about these guys are revealed. Because that's the thing, when a life is built on lies, it just becomes an endless maze of confusion.
The world can definitely be full of tricks and hidden rooms, but remember, the truth is always calm. It doesn't need to hide, and it doesn't need to yell. Stolen money is a destructive reality. It never truly satisfies. It only destroys. Remember that you always have the power to protect your own peace. The truth is always calm. You are safe now. Good night. But right before you go to sleep, ask yourself this one final question. In a world that is increasingly built on digital illusions, how will you ensure that the life you build remains grounded in reality?